Hello everyone. Today with us we have the digital marketing legend Sourav Jain. So can you please tell us something about yourself?
Hi, this is Sourav. I started my career at the age of 17. I have about 16 years of experience in digital marketing. I run an agency. It's called Ecomi, and I also run a digital marketing institute. It's called Digital Scholar. That's basically who I am. I'm an influencer on Instagram, and I teach people how to grow and monetize their Instagram platform.
Okay, sir, thank you. I would like to ask you a few very basic questions of how you came up with the whole idea of digital marketing 16 years ago. How did you even come up? How can somebody think of that 16 years ago?
So I was a student at Loyola, like how you guys are, and I was doing biotechnology, the plant biology and biotechnology. So in the first few practical classes, the first practical class they gave me leaf to dissect, then they gave me stem to dissect, and then they gave me root to dissect. So I realized that looks like if I keep doing this, I'll become a botanist more than biotechnologist. So first year I realized that this is not my cup of tea, but we generally don't quit undergraduation in India just like that. So in second year I found a part-time job in a digital marketing agency. I used to write content for websites there. So I believe that shaped my career, because a lot of people take, oh, college has to be fun, we have to have college life and all of that. I think in my family, my dad did not decide. He said this is the only money that I can give you to go to college and come back, which was just about 1,000 rupees a month or so. So and he said, if you really want to have your own pocket money, then you should earn. So I think that was a push. So I started earning from the second year. Accidentally, my friend, a senior of mine from Loyola again, she was working in this agency part time. This is in 2006. So she said, why don't you join? So it was an accidental discovery, but then I found my heart was there more than biotechnology. So I think that is how it all began.
So like you've had quite the journey. What was your initial stage of like hindrance? What were the challenges you faced? Because as college students, we know how much it's difficult to manage both. Yeah.
I think if you're asking me about part-time job and college, I don't think it was a challenge, because I think Loyola itself is crafted in a way where you have your own time. Where, for example, if you're an evening college student, then you have your college starting from 1 p.m. onwards or 1:30 p.m. onwards. Then you have the entire morning with you. But what happens is people take that for granted. They just don't take the free hours seriously. Most of them want to wake up late and do things on their leisure. I wasn't that person. I was a morning college student, so my luck was I had to wake up early. I'm winding up at 1 p.m. So 1 to 2 p.m. is a lunch break, so I'll chill and have my lunch with friends. And 2 p.m. I'll report to office. So 2 to 6, 6:30 I will report to office, which is 4.5 hours, and still had time in the evening. So I believe that if you keep your mind occupied, it's all the more better. Otherwise, college student, there's not much to do. We do nothing but just chilling or bunking colleges.
That's true. That's something we can all relate with. So, okay, that's about how you managed. I was asking about the initial challenges you faced. Like, how did you convince your parents to get you into this field?
I think basically your parents are always apprehensive about the decisions that you take, especially from the community that I come from. They all expect you to do the regular traditional business. I come from a Marwari community. So you have to do, so my dad did push me into textiles business. Then he pushed me to plywoods business. This is when I came back from UK. I did my post-graduation from UK,
okay, from
University of Leeds. And then I had a digital marketing job, but they were paying me only 16,000 rupees per month. So my dad wasn't very happy. He was like, "Itna padhai karke aaya and there is only 16,000 rupees that you're earning." So at that point of time, it was difficult for me to convince him that this is where I find my future, because he would compare my salary with someone else's salary who would graduate or post-graduate from this country, from IIMs. So at that point of time, I think I started blogging in 2009. I started writing on SouravJain.com.
Okay.
So I wrote about digital marketing facts, training, everything that I believe my audience would search for.
Okay.
So because of that, a lot of people would discover my blog on top of Google search results, which got me a lot of inquiries. And through that inquiry, I had a client from Spain, which made me quit my dad's business and start my very own agency. So it was not easy to convince my dad up to the first year of my career, because my first year's profit balance was zero. So it was neutral, and he didn't see any future of what I was doing. Because in ours, it's like, in our community, it's like in the first year, the guy should at least make some good 15, 20, 30 lakhs.
True, yes.
So it wasn't easy to convince him. But I think you just have to be very persistent and you have to be very stubborn about your choices. Only then I think they have no choice, because they are like, okay, this guy's a rebel. Let him do whatever he wants to do. What will happen at the end? He will fail and eventually come to us, and we will have his back at that point of time. But I never went back to them.
That's actually really, really inspirational for someone who wants to get into a media field, coming from a Jain background myself. I understand that. Was there any period where you were stuck? Like you felt like I'm not growing anymore in this field, like in digital marketing, even growing your followers organically. Like, were you ever stuck once?
I think most entrepreneurs get stuck in their journeys, because as young entrepreneurs, the biggest challenge that you have is you lack experience of resolving concerns that come your way. But the best thing about it is there is enough help available in the market. There are mentors who can guide you. There are people who are willing to help you. So you need to identify the right tools and resources to keep guiding you throughout. And you need to have right set of friends with you who is there to back you up, especially when you're feeling really low, really sad about your journey. Then you will have them in your journey to boost you up. So there have been many instances where, number one, I had a challenge with, I had a financial crisis when I lost the only client I had. So my dad wasn't ready to invest. I had to pay 4 people's salary, but my dad wasn't very happy about paying those 4 people's salary. When I asked from him, he said, if I pay salaries now, what's the guarantee you will not come back to me next month asking for more? So he said, you still have time to quit your idea and join mine. But I think challenges creates opportunities. So at that point of time, I had 30,000 rupees in my account. I invested that in Facebook ads, in some email marketing campaign. We did a workshop in Mumbai on social media marketing in 2011. We had about 40 people in the room, and they were paying 4,000 each, which was a revenue to me. And also 4 people got converted in the clientele space for me as an agency owner. So I realized that the more I educate, the more I will convert. So I would do my agency business from Monday to Friday, and I would do workshops across India because I had the ability to run ads. I would run ads for my workshop. I'll sell my workshop. I'll get people in the room. When people pay and come, they listen to you seriously. So that's how I started overcoming challenges. So I went to a challenge. I overcame challenge of financial crisis by starting to teach. So teaching is on your own. You're not dependent on your team. So you make that extra money for yourself. And I would put that money back in my business. Second, I had a leadership crisis because I was young. A lot of team members thought I was wrong in my journey. So they were like, there was a time when almost 10 people quit the company back to back. And then I realized that the fault is not theirs, the fault is mine, because maybe I had something wrong in my leadership styling. So I learned from other leaders on what do they do and how do they do, and I changed certain things about myself. So that's basically how I resolve the leadership issue. So there is always going to be challenges like that. And the question that you asked about getting stuck on Instagram, that's more likely to happen with anybody who's creating their content on the internet. There will be a time when they will just get stuck. I was also stuck for a very long time. But then I think you need to just understand that you don't create content for pleasing people or waiting for appreciation all the time. Sometimes you should create content for liberation. You should create content that it just helps you feel that you are adding value into this world. So for even today, for me, it's like a discipline. I post content. I don't care whether it's getting me 300 likes or 3,000 likes. Or I, of course, like when I see it's 15,000, 16,000 likes or whatsoever. But I really don't care. I don't bother about the number of likes not coming or the followers not happening. Okay. This is where the differentiation starts to happen, because people who lose their hope by just doing some few content pieces and then they think, this is not going to work for me. That's the end of their journey as an influencer or as a creator. So when we are at the edge of deciding that I want to quit is when the magic starts to happen. Mm-hmm. So you need to just wait and have patience.
Completely agree with that. If someone in today's date would like to start in the same field as yours, as digital marketing, and there's so much competition comparatively how it was 16 years ago, do you think they would be as successful as you are today?
Well, the fact is there's always something new in the market. Like now artificial intelligence is very new. So you need to really get into the industry with something new. So you have to understand that if you ask me this question, oh, there is so many kirana shop in the market. If I open one more kirana shop, will it be successful? Now it depends upon first, where is the location? Second, how good is the service? Third, what all products do you have as per the need of the market? Right? The place where we stay, there are two kirana stores right in front of us. There is one store called Mataji, there's another store called Muthu stores. Now Mataji has limitations with what he has to offer. So which means he doesn't want to take the effort to go and figure out what people want. He just sells what he wants to sell. And then there's Muthu who figures out everything that Marwadi wants. He goes and figures out all the things that across the country, across Rajasthan, what in summer mein ye log kya khate, ye log winters mein kya khate. Like if there's feeni that is selling in winters in Rajasthan, he will bring feeni and sell it to you. So he does that innovation. He does that work, that hard work. So you have to understand, in the market, it's just about how you find your differentiation, how you serve the need of the audiences, and that's how you keep building your market. So anybody who starts now have to understand that they wouldn't be. So we went to a struggle of 6, 7, 8 years of convincing client to invest in digital marketing. From 2009 till 2016, it took us so much of effort to tell them that please invest in digital marketing. Today, people are ready to invest in digital marketing. So you won't go through 6, 7 years of hardship. You will just get started because you will have people who has got money. They're willing to spend in marketing as much as what a client used to pay us at that point of time. They would give us 5,000 in ad budget. The same client is now spending 50 lakhs in ad budget after some 15 years. So you see the industry has evolved so much. The belief in the digital has happened. So you are going to jump into of course in competitive world, but in a competitive world where clients are willing to invest. So you get that added advantage that you would not struggle as much as we struggle basically.
Yes. There's no initial struggle for us.
See, struggle is part of business, but I wouldn't say that it wouldn't be as struggling as the struggle of convincing people is not going to be with you guys.
Okay, so I would like to ask about from your initial investment till now, the profit margins of how much you've earned and how it's helped you out.
See, I do an average billing a year of about 12 crores in my agency business. So that's basically what my billing is like. And even if I keep 30-40% as my margin, that's how much profits we make out of it. And this generally grows year on year for us. And what we used to do earlier was a billing of 30 lakhs per annum. When we started was about 20 lakhs per annum. Then it slowly evolved to this particular kind of a revenue model. So your revenue systems is largely defined by what kind of clients you serve, and the profit margin is again depending upon how much you pay as your team as salaries and stuff. So you have to do all of your calculations right to get the gross margin as your profit. And again, we don't take profits back home; we invest it back in the business because we're trying to build a futuristic business and not like a business but like an organization.
Completely. Okay,
Did you have a mentor or a role model who influenced you?
I think my mentors kept changing from time as per the problems. I try to fix the mentor for that. But I've always believed in lifelong learning because the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. And I also feel that learning is the fuel for your life because eventually it gives you a purpose then. So I keep evolving, keep learning, I keep doing many programs. Even today I spend at least 15-20 lakhs on doing multiple courses every year to just upgrade my knowledge so that I'm as per the industry standards. And it's needed because when you are the thought leader, then you need to get enough thoughts from people already enough experienced. So yes, I have mentors across. I like if you ask me specific role models, I would again, as I told you, from time and again they would change. But there is a trainer called Blair Singer who was one of my coaches who's trained me as to become best trainer. Neil Patel for digital marketing. So as I told you, different verticals, I have different inspirations. So these are my top 2 inspirations, and then I look up to them. There's also this person called Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki. So these are 2 people who help me understand the dimensions of relationships. Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki was largely about helping me to deal with money basically.
Okay. As you told me, there are so many courses that build your skill. So is it important to go to college and get a degree, or these courses are enough?
I don't think it's any more needed to go to college to get a degree. Because you have to understand that everything boils down to how much skills do you have. For example, today you're doing this interview with me. Now you can learn the skill outside of the college also and go ahead and offer this as a service to any of the businesses who's wanting someone to sit down and record their videos and edit them up, right? Now for this, the college is not needed. You can learn the skill anywhere, and that will be learned in just 6 months. So in 6 months, you will get a job as much as the person who will get in 3 years of his degree. So there was a time when degree was a very important benchmark or was a mandate in many companies where they would look at, oh, is this person graduated or not, or is this person having an undergraduation degree or not. Sometimes people will not get a job because they have arrears left out. Today, nobody cares about it anymore. What people really want is, especially in the arts and science space, I think you have good skill, then people are ready to hire you, because eventually they want smarter people who can execute than knowledgeable people who just don't know how to execute. So if you're smart and you know how to execute, you're the king or queen of the market.
Yeah. And is there any tough decision that you've made in the journey, and what was your thought process behind it?
Tough decisions. I think because it's so many years of entrepreneurship career, there are a lot of tough decisions. Sometimes you have to fire an employee because they were not culturally fit, so that's tough, but that's good for my organization. Sometimes you have to go legal against a client who's not paid, so it's a lot of fight for us, but that's tough. We have to do it. So you need to choose your heart, right? And everything is hard today. Whether you want to do a job or you want to get into entrepreneurship, you need to choose your heart. So I would say that in every tough decision, I have only had enough patience to deal with them, and most importantly, I have figured out a way to resolve it and learn from those mistakes so that I don't repeat those mistakes often.
Do you ever regret anything that you've done in the past?
In business?
Throughout this journey, yeah.
I think my biggest regret would be that I maybe have compared myself a lot with other players in the market. So I think that just is the worst thing that people can do in today's world. And this is a basic human thing today, because people keep comparing themselves with someone else on social media, but then you end up wasting a lot of time. I think a lot of time procrastination has been my biggest enemy. The task which is the most important task we keep pushing, but that's where the major value comes from. So I think procrastination has been one of my biggest challenges in the past, which I try to overcome by fixing certain things to do on a day-to-day basis. And third, of course, has been distractions. Phone is the biggest distraction of human being today. So despite being a digital marketer, I still feel that your productivity goes down by 100%. If you're on phone, you look busy, but you're not busy because you're just constantly looking at notifications and feed, which is not helping you in any way. So I believe if people really want to build a stronger base, they have to go off phone for at least a year and then build their base and then come back, so that there's no distractions that has actually diverted them in their lives basically.
But there are also people who tell that this is a mobile phone, this is my business, this is everything, this is where I earn.
That's what. So you need. So it's like this, right? You have a mobile phone. This is my business. This is where I earn. There are people who. This is my mobile phone. This is where I watch my porn. This is what I do. This is where I do everything wrong, right? So there are people. So it's the coin has both the sides. That's why I told you the phone can be a distraction, or it can be a boon, or it can be a bane. Now you need to really figure out what do you want to do with your phone. You can either sit down and chit chat with your loved ones all the time, or scroll through reels throughout the day, or you can use it as a powerful weapon to create and educate and inspire the world or entertain the world. So it's all about how you use your phone, and even in phone, you define what's a distraction measure for you. If you think notifications are, feed is, someone personally, we stalk certain people. These are all distractions. We just need to learn to block them. Otherwise, the phone is going to engulf us. The biggest challenge today is that people get phones way too early in their lives. We got phone when I was 18 or 19, and that too a Nokia 1100 for at least 1-2 years, where we would just do texting. That's the only thing that we had to do. But today, a 13-year-old guy wants a phone in this country, and the first thing that they do is they go create a Snapchat. And once you create a Snapchat, you just don't know what's happening in the person's life. Now, how depressed is the person? How anxious is that person? Who or he or she is chatting with? There is no history of that, right? So the fact here is that there is no regulation defined for all of this in this country. and there should be regulations like this for many colleges and schools where students are told what they should do, what they should not be doing. So at least when they are on their phone, the mind is sorted. Like my son is so hooked to watching gaming videos. Not that he's playing games. Somebody else is playing game. He's sitting down and giving commentary to it. He wants to sit down and watch that guy for hours. I said, how does it even make sense? That guy is playing game, that guy is giving commentary, and you're not even doing anything to it, just watching and enjoying the whole bit of it. But that's what happens with people. Earlier, it's for first few years it's Coco Malone and Chuchu TV. Then they go and watch this gaming channel, and then if you see, most of them is just trying to keep their mind calm and organized. More, they just do this to keep their mind calm, but that's not feeding them with the right things. Nobody's telling them what videos to watch. Nobody's telling them what they should be doing, what they should not be doing. So I think, coming back to this whole point, that distraction has been one of my biggest enemy, and it still is. I wouldn't say that it's not. So first thing in the morning, if I open WhatsApp, then my day is just gone. It's like it's not sorted. So principally, I've started to not start my day with the phone, so that my focus is more on myself than on what's happening in the digital world. So I think that's basically how the difference. You need to take those steps to bring the change for yourself.
And also, what would be your advice to youngsters like us who want to start with this journey in digital marketing and grow?
Sure. So first thing is you should learn digital marketing because today there are many sources to learn digital marketing. So learn digital marketing. Second, practice digital marketing. So join as an intern and don't wait for earning in the initial days. Just learn so that you get to learn and practice. Basically, work with an agency to that, because you get to work with multiple brands. So you have a lot of people with different energy, different cultures, different creative level, and different mood swings. So you need to really understand how to deal with people. So digital marketing is also about dealing with people, dealing with numbers. So you need to really master that. So yes, learn and practice. Digital marketing is like how somebody would do MBBS. If you just have the degree, that's not enough. You need to know to practice, because if you want to get your heart surgery done, you won't go to a person who's just started his heart surgery journey. You will go to a person who's been there for 15 years, because you don't want to risk your life with somebody who just started, right? Like that, with digital marketing, with your age and experience, your maturity happens about the industry, and you get paid more because you are a veteran in the industry and you know by the pulse of what's going wrong and right.
And this is my last question to you. As a younger self, if you would go back in time, what is the thing that you would want to change? That it would have been better if I didn't go this way.
I think there's
or if I didn't choose this path.
Right. So I think there's nothing about my very early age I would like to change, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been very critical about what I'm doing. Like if my friends would go to movies and chit chat and watch and hang out in cafeterias, it was my conscious choice that I don't want to do that, because I was earning 4,000 rupees per month as my part-time job income, and for me that 4,000 rupees were very, very precious. So from my first income, I bought a guitar for my younger brother, so that he can learn guitar, and he's actually a good guitarist. So I bought a fast track watch back then for myself. So I chose to buy luxuries way too early in my career, or whatever I believe was luxury for me at that point of time. And that was from my money. So I am just trying to, if I really look back at what wrong did I do, I think I did everything right, because I just never took my undergraduation very seriously. So that's the best decision I took, because if I had just sat down and just been doing that course and then figuring out what to do with my life, I would have wasted few years of my life. But second year I figured out what I want to do. I was very clear I want to go to University of Leeds. I chose my subject by the beginning of third year. So I was ready to go for that education. I graduated in April from Loyola, April or May as undergraduate. Then September I left for my post-graduation. So I had clarity. Clarity is everything in this world. And you need to really bring that clarity in your life in order to freeze to one thing, because I was not wavering. So since 17-year-old, even 36 now, I've been only sticking on to one subject, which is digital marketing, whatsoever it may be, whether it's failure or success. I've seen both, and there have been worse times and good times, but I've been sticking on to only one thing. So if there is something that you're passionate about, you just need to stick on to that, and eventually that's what builds who you are in your life.
Thank you so much, sir. That was such an insightful session.
My
I
pleasure.
was delighted to take your interview.
Thank you so much for hosting.